If small dollar donors are a problem, presumably he thinks there should be a solution.
Well, if I had big dollars, I'd be a big dollar donor.
Right.
There's a solution. He could give me some money.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Jonah Goldberg,
Oh no, not Jonah Goldberg.
he's a Republican, but he's
among other things.
Yeah, among other things, but he's a reasonable Republican.
Is that what they're calling them?
That's what they're calling them. Never Trumpers. They want to, drink your blood from your skull, but they're not going to send mean tweets is basically, that's these people. And so he was on CNN talking about the scourge of small dollar donors in political races. This is just a fascinating thing that I have never heard anybody have the audacity to say on TV. Like, people heard him say this. He said this knowing people were listening to him. It's just amazing. So let's listen to what he had to say on CNN, on TV, where people could hear him.
All right, let's hope this is the right one.
But I just also think that we were dealing with a time where there were a lot of people, there was a lot of cheering and self-congratulation about the rise of small donors a decade ago. And now small donors are actually one of the biggest problems for democracy, for the GOP, because large donors actually
Wait, did he say
have a strategic view about moderation, who can win, who can't.
And then you're going to want to rewind it.
Really are just venting their spleen with their credit card.
Bits of gold. Yeah, you heard him right. He said that one of the biggest threats to democracy is small dollar donors.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a take, right? There's, that's an opinion that
that's a hot take.
That because we live in America, he is entitled to. So, happy for the First Amendment, but it also produces some trash.
Yeah, I want to hear his rationale here.
Yeah. So let's rewind it so we make sure we get that, because we talked over some gold there that you're going to love.
A lot of people, there was a lot of cheering and self-congratulation about the rise of small donors a decade ago. And now small donors are actually one of the biggest problems for democracy, for the GOP, because large donors actually have a strategic view about moderation, who can win, who can't. Small donors really are just venting their spleen with their credit card, and they lock candidates into positions that can hurt them in a general election.
Such an important point.
Such an important point!
I just also...
By CNN. That's a CNN host. CNN, I thought, was supposed to be the libs. Wild.
Well, it's because you don't think with a strategic view.
Yeah, right. I'm not moderate enough. And that's why I shouldn't be allowed to donate to campaign. I mean, what is even the solution to that, right? If the small dollar donors are a problem, presumably he thinks there should be a solution.
Well, if I had big dollars, I'd be a big dollar donor.
Right.
There's a solution. He could give me some money.
Yeah.
And I could donate, strategically for him.
Yeah. What would even be the solution to that? Like, you can only donate in increments of $5,000 to campaigns. I mean, what's the deal? What's the thing that he wants to happen here to make it more difficult for working people to fund candidates that they want to see elected? That's just that's a really kind of mask off moment, right? Another example of just contempt that these people have for people like us. If we're not in the elite, if we don't live in DC or New York or California, and we don't have a fancy finance or media job, then we shouldn't have a vote. We shouldn't be able to spend money on elections. We got to leave that stuff to our betters, right? Because they know more than us. The people that run the world, who make money because they have money, they just know more than us. And that's why it's a meritocracy, don't you know? That's why they're at the top, is because they're better than us.
Such an important point.
That's really wild. I could not believe that, because I was watching that clip on Twitter, and I was already, my jaw was at the floor by the end of his statement. And then it just got dislocated when the CNN host chimed in. Such an important point. I could not believe that. Although I don't know why I was so surprised, but, you know, you would think that they would at least have to try to keep up some sort of veneer of being, like, liberal or at least moderate. You know, at least I'm not a total insane ghoul, you know, bought and paid for by corporations, but it be what it be, I guess. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.